Hey everybody, welcome to a video no one asked for, but I'm making anyway because it's my channel and I get to do whatever I want. A while back, I made a video saying that I don't know anything about Warhammer, and then now I'm addicted to it, and that's the curse of this thing. I think I have like 2,000, 3,000 something points of Death Skull Orcs. I bought mostly on eBay because I'm not insane, but today's challenge is, what is the cheapest army you could buy and build if you went straight into a Games Workshop store, just spent money, and there you go. You have a full 2,000 point list that is functional and legal in tournament play. So, some asides, no recasters, no third parties, no eBay, no, my friend had this army and they sold it to me for $1.50. Like, none of that garbage. We're just doing straight from Games Workshop. If it's not in the box, you can't use it. That's how we're running this. No kit bash, you know, with stuff from your bit box. You have to use the stuff that's in these boxes. So, let's get started. Jet bike. So, we're going to start with the jet bike. So the Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle jet bike, this box essentially just gives you 3 HQ choices that you'll be using in your battalion and your Vanguard detachments, which is amazing. So, $60 for 3 HQs is about as cheap as it goes, as far as I can tell. At least as far as ones that have valid, good choices. So yeah, we're running a battalion of Golden Boys, as weird as that sounds. One of these guys, you're going to make your Warlord. You're going to give him the Acoric Aquilus, the Misericordia, the Hurricane Bolter, Superior Creation, and Victor of the Blood Games, obviously, to make that combo that used to be super popular, but is less so now, because Horde and Castellan are, I think, just more popular. The Bolter, the Hurricane Bolter, just over the Rocket Launcher, because the Rocket Launcher is, I find, really inconsistent. When I play tested this through totally legitimate and legal means, it's failed me every time, whereas the Hurricane Bolter is a good way of dealing with chaff in large numbers. And being that you can be zippy and quick, you are pretty safe from anything as long as you keep your guys in cover or otherwise shelter them so that way they can't be targeted outright. It's good. It's a good box, and it's one of the best value things you can get. So, speaking of the battalion and the Vanguard, because that's what we're running, we need some guys. So, Guard Squad. You want to get this one over this one, and I'll explain why. So this one is a 2 4-man unit, or a 4-man unit, and a dude here. So this dude right here is not actually part of a troop choice anymore. He's actually his own elite choice. So by buying this, you get a Vanguard and a troop choice detachment for the price of about $60. Well, you know, 100 and something. But, you know, it's starting to add up quick. But, you know, you're going straight through Games Workshop. So what do you want? So for the troop slot, you're going to be running them as Custodian Guard Squad, obviously, with 4 of them. Shield Blade, Storm Shield on one of them, and everyone else has Guardian Spear, Misericordia. You're going to be running that across the entire army, as far as all your troop choices go. And it's just because it's a really hard-to-kill unit. A 3-up invulnerable on top of a toughness 5 body is pretty hard to kill. And then when you make this guy, Flexus Magnificus, I think that's the name of it. Yeah, that's right. -1 to hit, 3-up invulnerable, 5 toughness, multi-wound model is just a pain to get rid of. And so you just throw some of those onto a objective, and you have that objective. And you'll want to run and move those guys like that. You put them on the objective, and you just kind of sit there guarding the Malefica, and that will pretty much ensure that you keep it from most things. They hit pretty hard. They're pretty good at dislodging things. They're hard to get rid of. The combination of a -1 to hit and a 3-up invulnerable does make for a really tough, annoying unit. And so that'll be the backbone of your army, is those guys moving around, holding down the objectives, and then your, you know, Dawn Eagle jet bike guys flying around taking out anything you can't get rid of. So that's a good start to an army, but that's like leaving about like, I think 300 something points, because we're at like 1,500, 1,600 I think at this point. So what are we doing with the remaining like 400, 500? Well, this model's ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you. This model is super ugly. It's old, but we're getting 2 of them. And the reason is that they are one of the dollar per just point value options is one of the best things you can buy. He's not a bad unit. He's just underwhelming in a lot of ways. So with both of them, you're going to be running them as you see. WYSIWYG, Nemesis, Force, Halberd, Storm, Bolter, Gate of Infinity. Because it's really your only good spell, let's be honest. Sanctuary is good, but if you only have to choose one, which for some reason, the guys that have really good psychic spells only get 1 psychic spell. Whatever. So the idea is that you're going to have these guys either in the dropship teleportation stuff right off the bat. I would recommend that because that keeps them safe. You can let them drop into that weird guard bubble I was talking about a minute ago. Or you can Gate of Infinity them to wherever they need to be. Optimally, you want to have these guys kind of act like assassins to be able to take out any psychers that you can't get rid of, or just to kind of deal with chaff stuff. With the combination of moving your almost impossible to kill guard squads onto objectives and having these guys kind of try and take everything else, they'll have to decide which way they want to go. These guys are kind of not the best. I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to make it sound sexy, but it's just not. So you'll be running this in a Supreme Command detachment of Grey Knights. You know you've got a good list when you say those words. And so that leaves us with Voldus. So why Voldus and not a Grey Knight captain? Well, again, we're trying to get to 2,000 points. And why Voldus rather than Drago? Well, Drago is better. Drago is a lot better. Drago, he's cheaper, dollar-wise. He doesn't fill out the detachment as well. So if you've been following along and you've been adding this up, if you've been using Battlescribe or what have you to try and keep up with this, you'll notice that we have exactly 90 points shy, which means we can have assassins. Which one? Up to you. Honestly, they're all the same price. They're all the same point cost. So it's really just whatever you feel like. For me, personally, I feel like the Caldeus, there, that chick in the Gimp suit. I feel like she's your best option, though the Vindicator is a good choice also, which is why he's out of stock. And the reasoning there is that she can take out any of the Psyker threats that your Grey Knights can't, because they will probably fail in their attempt. I would use them as like a strike force to take something that, you know, because they are hard to get rid of, you can kind of use it to take out that, like, whatever squad that, you know, the chaff units, the grots, the guardsmen, what have you, that they put on a back objective that they weren't expecting you to teleport into. You teleport into, and then you kill whatever was on that objective, and now it's yours. And if they start trying to move towards it, then you just teleport your Grey Knight captain out, and you're fine. For Voldus, I guess I should say Gate of Infinity, Hammerhand, Sanctuary. So there you go. That is the army. You're rocking 10 command points before you use Victory of the Blood games. And it's a cheap $345.50. Not counting shipping and handling and taxes. But it is the cheapest army you can buy in Warhammer 40k. It's got some serious problems with Horde, I should say. And there's not really a way of dealing with that. For the Castella Knight and the Loyal 32, my general recommendation is to just... The Castella Knight has the issue of not being able to move enough in order to get into range to find things. So if you have a lot of line of sight blocking terrain, you can hide your guys, especially if you're running ICC. You can hide this Guardian Squad and Praetor inside of a building, hold an objective, and they're invincible, literally. And assaulting into that as a guard squad is a stupid idea because they will live. The guard squad, the custodian guard squad will win that fight. This will have issues with orcs, in my opinion. Just weight of dice. I don't care that you have a toughness 5 thing. Like, the orcs will be able to just mob around you and just 300 something attacks. Like, 16% of that will probably go through. That's still a dead squad. Despite the fact that it's just not going to work out in your favor where you're going to actually get a lot of hits, there's just enough bullets coming in. And that's not even counting like Luda spam and that kind of crap. Because that -1 to hit is not going to affect orcs much at all with Daka Daka Daka. That's another use for your brother Captain Voldus situation, is you can take out that Luda squad by just teleporting, go at a weird angle so you can get a charge off without having to worry about Overwatch, and then just murder them, or at least tag them so that way they have to back off. You can do that to tanks as well, and it's super annoying. Same thing with the John Eagle jet bike. Choose whatever assassin you want. I feel like that's pretty much the video. Additionally, you'll probably want the book. You can probably just go with the Custodes book. And maybe the Grey Knight cards. The book is not worth buying. Like, honestly, if your opponent gets in your face, gets weird about the fact that you don't have the book, just look at them and be like, dude, it's Grey Knights, man. And then they'll probably relinquish and probably give up after that. The objectives that you need to get in standard match play stuff, more or less, I feel like are easier in the Grey Knights collection of cards. It's using spells and that kind of thing. Assuming you're not stupid with your deployment, you can probably get it. The stuff you're required to do through Custodes is pretty much impossible. I don't really know what they were thinking with that deck. So I would recommend that deck over that one, and it also gives you access to, you know, actual wording of your spells. That being said, if you're running ITC, you can probably just have a battle scribe printout of your list and you're fine. But there you go. If you count the books and the cards, 450, spray paint, you know, all of that is going to cost money, but you'll be using less because you can basically just paint these guys black. There is a subsect of the Golden Boys that is just in solid black. You could get some detail work going in there as well, and it'll look fine. Grey Knights, you could run, you know, being gray or black, and you'd be fine. And then the Collectus, you're going to also be, you know, probably painting black because it's an assassin. It should be wearing black. So black spray paint is a must. And then from there, you'll probably want to get some like white or gray paint in order to have the details on the bike, the edging on the shields, and then the armor in general on your Grey Knights. And so you're saving money there as well. But just putting minis together and all that, $400.50 before tax, shipping, all of that jazz. But hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, let me know. Obviously, this is not what I normally do. I normally talk about video games. But if you just wanted something stupid and nerdy, here's the answer to what's the cheapest army you can buy from Games Workshop. It's Grey Knights and Adeptus Custodes. Bye.